guest gets we call it an unlearn optimization kit.
Right.
And
right here in the box.
That's it. So Linz, could you hand it to Lance?
That's a great idea.
And it's products that I use, it's products that I've invested in. And there's a book from Boyd in there as well. His book.
You gave me one.
I already gave you one. So you get to gift that one to someone.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So what do we got in there? Just kind of pick up some different things. And I just want to give I'll give a quick shout out. When I do my solo cast,
gotta get my readers.
When I do my solo cast, I'll talk about these in depth, but
yeah,
just pick up anything, buddy. Just fucking.
You can pick them up.
Yeah, just pick
Super
up.
Mush, right?
Super Mush is a great.
I should try some of that.
Some great mushroom.
Upgraded blend. Iodine from Upgraded.
Yep. Quicksilver's got great
Longevity products. Elite.
Yeah, buddy.
Who doesn't want longevity?
True Calm. That's a troche that helps you like kind of chill out. It's a nice little vibe. Okay. Your mouth turns a little orange, but it's fine. It's
save the best for last. You got some Feel Free.
Feel Free in there, of course.
On the golf course, that's very prevalent amongst the group.
So Genius. Those are some microdosing mushrooms.
Okay.
Excellent.
Oh, I love the tagline. Next level shit.
Yeah, buddy. It's right up your alley.
Doesn't like next level shit.
So then you
got some.
Oh, Mana Vitality. That is a Shilajit with, you know, the thing I just gave you, the Quicksilver Quinton. It's basically that seawater electrolyte with Shilajit. It's an amazing thing. I do it every morning.
Got Boyd's book,
which is epic. Soon, you know, in the next 6 months, my book will be accompanying him in there. But for now, it's Boyd's.
Element T. Otherwise known as Element. Yep. We use a lot of Element.
Yep. That's something I invested in. I invested in that Woo Play there, Woo More Play. That's a little something for you and the missus.
Bump and grind, hanky panky, getting busy, lust and thrust. Yeah. Hashtag more play. I love it.
So this is some of the things I could say a lot of things. Some great products that I like to use, but and Lindsay will link to that in the show notes. And there's a whole
cool box too,
a whole page.
Nice touch.
Yeah, Lindsay picked that out. So there we go. Anyway, so I thought it'd be kind of fun to start with that. But I tell you, I mean, I know we just worked out. And at the end of the workout,
we've been doing.
I was sharing like what's been happening for me. And so this podcast, I've done a lot of podcasts, right? This is 4 years now. I don't remember
when was our
4 years ago it released.
Okay.
Earlier this month, end of January. We recorded it in the late fall.
Got it.
When I was preparing for the podcast, it was interesting that I had these areas that I wanted to talk to you about. And what was interesting is I realized that we're both very much at the same crossroads. I mean, not only are we both 52, but you know, there's a love of golf that we both have. Yep. And, you know, golf has played an important role in both of our lives. And for you, I know that it was a really safe haven when your fucking world fell apart. Yep. Training and fitness. Yep. And I mean, we've been doing a lot of working out together. It's been awesome. Sucks sometimes because, you know, as I want to talk a little bit about lactic acid so people understand what buffering that means and why that is a fucking superpower. Yeah. And I don't do it nearly as well as you.
The assault bike.
Yes. And
we're not alone.
No. It's like the cold plunge. No one fucking likes it, but it's a necessary evil, I believe. Yeah. But also like we you know, obviously both have podcasts and both orienting towards kind of a North Star, our own, you know, individual. And it's exciting as things are moving with you building out what you're doing. And for me, just like being re-inspired with the work has been really cool. And then investing. I mean, you and I invested in your first fund and then we've done a few things together and we've looked at things together and it's, yeah, there's just a lot of synergies at this time in our life. And as I said before we got on, like this audio book by Allison Armstrong is a fucking game changer. It's like it's about men. And I'll have you link to it in the show notes because it is, no offense to Boyd. I've given out Boyd's book 300 plus times. I love that book, but there is simply no better thing that I've engaged in than this audio book. Oh God, it's listen to it on 2 times speed. You'll be done in an hour and 40 minutes. And you will, as a man, you will understand yourself way better. And as a woman, you will understand your man. I'm telling you, it is emotional. It is cathartic. Put that to the top of anyone's to-do list. So anyway, and I also want to talk about a little bit about cycling, but just on the periphery, I want to understand what makes the Tour de France so hard compared to other things? And I know you haven't competed in the UFC or anything like that, but just give people a context for why is it so hard? But anyway, I fucking love that you're on today. I'm stoked that we got a workout in.
Yep.
It's the first time in a long time that I've worked out before an episode, so I'm fired up.
I couldn't do an episode without working out.
Really?
No, I would. Yeah, I can't do much of anything that's important before working out. I have to work out before.
You've just always been like that.
Yeah, it just sets the whole thing up for me personally.
Did you go through a period, 10 years ago when shit hit the fan where you couldn't even work out? Like you just went into like a shell, or was that consistent the entire time?
No, I did not. I definitely did not. No. In fact, I went the other way. I threw myself into fitness and health. And although, I wouldn't say that, I lived the healthiest life. I enjoyed myself. We had whatever it was, whether you go to a show and stay out late and party, or you have a dinner party, but it'd be one thing if you did that 90% of the time.
Yeah.
I did. Now, the only thing that I did do for many, many years is just not ride the bike, not train on the bike, but I ran a lot. I swam. You mentioned, not that it's necessarily a workout, picked up the game of golf. But yeah, no, I that was the other option, right? There were two options for me, was to just kind of give up and become a bum, whether that's lazy or addicted or careless, reckless. Not that you don't have moments that are a little careless and reckless.
Oh, for sure.
But no, I because my view was that with all of those things, because keep in mind, I wasn't the only guy in cycling that got destroyed. There were many.
Well, that was certainly the public perception that there was nobody else.
Well, certainly there was nobody else in the U.S. Everybody in the U.S. They took some punches, but they got a pass. But there were the equivalent of me in other countries who didn't. And and sort of the second and third tier guys or their teammates also got passes, but those top guys, Jan Ullrich, Marco Pantani, Frank Vandenbroek, Jimenez in Spain, guys like that, they took a beating from the media and the fans and from the public, and only one of them is alive. Right? Jan Ullrich is the only one alive today, and the others overdosed and died. So,
oh fuck, dude.
Yeah. So that was the other option, right? But with that comes, and I've seen it with Jan, for example. You lose any valuable friends, you lose your wife, you lose your children. And then in the case of those others, they lost their lives. And so you had that as an extreme. And then you had my situation where I was like, okay, that's an option, but I'm not doing that. I'm also not going to curl up and cry and feel sorry for myself. This isn't ideal and this sucks. And most of this is self-inflicted, but fuck this. I'm going to figure this out. I am. I promise you, I'm going to figure it out. And I don't know how long it will take, but I'm not giving up. And, I'm certainly not going to go down that rabbit hole of just destroying my life.
So I'm curious if because I see this idea of throwing yourself into, it's another addiction, right? Which arguably way healthier than drugs and whatever alcohol. But it actually, I believe it's important for us to, sometimes we have to numb ourselves because we're not ready to process what our world just fucking came crashing down, and we can't start processing it on day one. And so do you recall a time over the past 10 years where it was like the switch got flipped and you're like, okay, I'm ready to I'm ready. I've got some tools now that I can actually start to move through this.
Yeah. Look, it's been just over 11 years since I did the Oprah interview. So the world, I think, sort of views that as the, that was the day, right? The day after, I should say, where I went from hero to zero overnight. So a lot of people applauded that. A lot of people thought that was funny. A lot of people thought that I deserved that. And a lot of that's right. I didn't think it was funny, but I certainly deserved it. But you can't go through that and all of it that comes with it. So going from hero to zero just personally is awful. It has an impact. I had 3 older children who were in middle school. As you're a parent, you know how rough middle school can be, especially for girls. It's terrible. There was a mile-long list of lawsuits. Income went from some exorbitant amount to zero. So not only does income go down, but
and you had the $100 million lawsuit.
But then you had that didn't happen actually then.
Oh, it didn't.
No, that happened later.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, no, they saved that one for last.
Yep.
No, I had to settle all the other lawsuits, and then that one came. We can talk about that. That was a crazy case, but nonetheless, turned out okay. Again, we can talk about it, but you can't go through all of these things without suffering PTSD. So I think we as a society hear about PTSD and we associate that with people that have been at war and have lost comrades and have seen death and have killed people, right? I mean, even if you hadn't seen one of your mates die, I'm not sure that I could kill somebody and ever live a normal life again, right? But that you go into that game with one job, and if somebody's standing there, you have to shoot. That would destroy me, right? And so, but PTSD is not exclusive to soldiers, right? It's and certainly not exclusive to me. Sexual assault is another situation where a young female would certainly have PTSD, and so where we were going with this was, so if Oprah was 11 years ago, I sort of just tried to live life and focus on my children and my wife and just bandaid things all around. They were just band-aids. And whether that's sort of couch therapy once a month or once every 2 weeks, those are band-aids. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't until about 5 years ago where I said, okay, the band-aids aren't working, right? And I need something different and deeper. And that's when I decided, I went to a place in Tennessee called Onsite. I don't know if you're familiar with Onsite. It's an amazing place. It's fairly well known, but it's very private, but super intensive. And I've had some friends here from Austin, some of which that had gone there. And I just said, I got to go in, right? So you go imagine couch therapy, as we call it, these band-aids is, sort of sit on that couch for an hour once or twice a month. Onsite is 5 days, all alone, one-on-one, 10 hours a day.
Oh my God.
And obviously no distraction, no devices, but intensive work, right? And so I did that. And I've, when I first went and did it, I was nervous about it and didn't know what I was getting into. I ended up loving it. Now I go all the time. Like if you said to me right now, dude, we're going to wrap this up and we're going to fly to Nashville and you're going to start a 5-day at Onsite or something very similar, I would fucking get up and sprint to the airport.
Wow.
Yeah. But all of that is, you have to address trauma, right? There's multiple ways to go about that. We did it there's a lot of tricks and tactics that they're real therapists, right? So just to go back to the Band-Aid thing. So sitting on that couch, those are Band-Aids. This is surgery. So if you want to go in and surgically repair something, you go to a place like Onsite, and even, and I don't think I'm crossing the line. Anna did Hoffman, for example.
I've heard of that. Yeah,
Hoffman,
for sure.
Very well known. Those are surgical interventions. Mm-hmm. For any of them to work, you have to totally surrender. Mm-hmm. And, a lot of people sort of get guilted or shamed or forced to go to these interventions. Mm-hmm. They won't work. If you don't voluntarily go and say, that's it, I'm fucking giving it up. I'm giving everything, right? And they won't work, right? So maybe it just, the world was waiting for a time for me to say, okay, now's your time. But I loved it. And addressing, I was, whatever trauma you're thinking about, there's a lot more. You could think about some episode in your life, wow, that was really traumatic. You go spend 5 days and 10 hours a day, and I'd do it for 2 weeks, frankly, but you're going to start uncovering other, right? You do it. We did it through really as a written, or almost as a drawing exercise on a big circle, and they call it a trauma egg. So you just start layering anything you can think of in your life that was traumatic, right? It doesn't matter, right?
So you're just, I'm guessing you're just surprised at what was coming.
You just layer them on, right? It's a big,
like having no idea that was in there.
And it can be anything. And then you start to go through all those. And obviously mine, you can't, the big one is just straight up PTSD.
Damn.
I know. Right.
Well, when I think back about, I mean, I met you probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. We played golf with a mutual friend of ours. And
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Well, he'll get mentioned later, but I just know how much he loves getting his name mentioned. So I just want to hold off on mentioning it.
College?
Yeah.
No,
wanted to bust his balls a little bit.
He loves it when we talk about
college. But we, and then we did an NAD together 5+ years ago.
Also traumatic.
And then you didn't love that. I didn't either, but I did it a number of times. You came on the podcast, but I've noticed, as I was kind of prepping for the podcast, it was like, God, there's just, I've seen it. I've noticed a shift in you, a noticeable shift. There's like a sense of ease with you that I didn't maybe recognize before, or maybe wasn't there before, but we've played a lot of golf together. We've worked out a lot. We were down in, for the holidays down in Cabo, our families were there. And, it's funny, you on the golf course, you'll shoot your mouth off and be bombastic, but you can also be humbled, and I don't know when we first met years ago, if you had that side to you.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's a lot happens in 7 years, but I credit the process of, again, whatever it is, because I have been to Onsite several times, but I've also done similar interventions or several other surgical missions. But yeah, look, I mean, being bombastic on the golf course, I love that. Look, I'm an athlete, right? Athletes talk shit. Doesn't matter who you are. And if you don't talk shit, you're not any good. You're just not. The key is can you take it? Right? If it gets flipped, right? That's the worst, is when somebody gets all upset. Like, wait a minute, you just.
Well, and I think that's a great point. And one of the things I thought about was, again,
I don't mind if anybody gives me.
I've seen you play like shit and me play really well. And I've seen the reverse. Right. And recently, yes, very recently, but I was really impressed with, you were getting your ass kicked and there was no like bravado, ego, whatever. You just like, I fucking suck right now. You just owned it. But you know what I mean? Again, like I think important.
You're leaving out one very important part of it, is that, there's all, and not to talk about money or make it about money, but I wouldn't play the game as religiously as I do if there wasn't a little action on the line.
Right? Yeah.
And in golf, we call it action. And I pretty much play for anything, but don't go out there if that's going to make or break your day. Like so I don't care about if you lose a few $100 or whatever the number is. If you can't go out there with the attitude that you have gambling money, then don't go, right? So don't. And if you play like shit, well, you got beat.
Yes.
It's a sport.
Yes.
Right. And whether it's a one-on-one sport or it's a team sport, you lost the game.
Yeah.
So fuck it. Like, go home, go to bed, and wake up and battle again. I have no problem with that.
No, I know. But
some people can't, right?
No, and I know, and they just take themselves so seriously, and it's hard to be around. And I think that's what's great about our group. And we have an awesome group. Yep. We have Brendan, I'm so glad that I connected you and Ron. Yep. I mean, what a beauty he is, huh? And now you've been to the mothership, which
going through a hard time.
We need to, he is. And so we're definitely been sending him our love and support. And for those who don't know, he just lost his mother. And so he was really close with her. And I was really moved by, he would always talk about her in his act. I've seen him 15, 20 times. He always mentions his mother. And he always just had such an adoration for her and spoke lovingly, and would even, we were supposed to go to Kill Tony for my son's birthday, who just turned 21. He wanted to go to Kill Tony. So Jake and I went, and Ron and Jeannie were going to meet us there, and he couldn't come. He's like, I'm going to stay with my mother tonight. Jeannie will be there with a friend. And it's like,
yeah, imagine now when he talks about her.
Like, how cool is that?
That's amazing.
Like
you don't expect that from
no. And I just reminded him that I was like, dude, like you inspire me to want me to be a better son. Right. The way, he shows up. He's for all his comedy and all that, he's such a sweet man, and grateful that he's part of our community.
Totally.
But what has it been like, this shifting from ultra competitive, obviously top of the world cyclist, to playing a sport like golf, where you self-admittedly not most, ultra coordinated, but it's not an easy sport necessarily. You're on a 9.
I'm not coordinated, and years of cycling are just cycling's a pretty safe sport. Right? You don't get, unless you crash, right? If you crash, you can break bones.
Buddy, I've seen so many guys who are like this. How did you avoid that?
That's you spend so many years just hunched over. So terrible for the hips, terrible for the low back. Well, guess what are 2 really good things for the game of golf? Your hips and your low back. So mine are a little bit locked in, but you figure it out. But I don't know. Even when I raced, I grew up swimming. So I grew up doing a lot of cycling, but I did swam and I ran, and I would still do those things. And I still do today. That's swimming. Fuck, if the world said, dude, all right, you can imagine if somebody in the world just made you make a decision like this, but if they said you can only do one sport for the rest of your life, it would not be cycling. It would be swimming. Swimming is my favorite go-to exercise. I love it.
How often are you doing it in a week generally?
On a good week, it's 3 or 4 days a week.
Mm-hmm. You work out every day?
Every day.
What are your kind of down days, like recovery days, look like? I mean, you're not like what we just did right here today. You don't do that every day. Do you?
It wasn't that hard. Was it hard? It was short.
It was short, but it was ball kicker. No? This is revisionist history, because I saw you not 30 minutes ago huffing and puffing like that was a bit cunty.
It was short. But yeah, no, to me, I can go swim with the team and feel like that's a bit of a recovery day. There's no impact.
That's what I mean. So swimming can be...
You get a little aerobic. Actually, depends on the sets that the coach lays out. But, even bike rides. I mean, if I went for a 90-minute... Here in Austin, if you went for a 90-minute bike ride, it's pretty chill.
Where would you go around here?
I don't know. It's, of course, Austin.
You never go on 360, do you?
Never.
Okay.
No, I don't. I avoid... I mean, I moved here in 1989. So there was, I mean, if for every minute on 360 today, there's 100 cars, there were 10 or maybe 5 in 1989.
God.
360 was like, when they built the Loop 360, people were like, why would you build that?
No way.
Like when they put that bridge in, which was just before I came, they were like, and it's a great story. I mean, Ann Richards found that. She saw that bridge in a trip of hers in Europe, and she said, I want that bridge.
No shit.
And so that's why that bridge is there. But you could go out there, you could ride down the middle of the road.
Wow.
Bee Caves was the same. Bee Caves had the same lanes, had a big shoulder, no cars. I drove out here. I took Bee Caves to get out. I was like, where the fuck are all these people going? Shouldn't they be going the other way? Like, town is behind me.
No,
there's like stuff.
There's stuff out here now.
We've got some infrastructure. There's a great bike lane out east that you can get on that goes for 7 or 8 miles.
I think I went with college on that years ago.
Yeah, it's a dedicated bike and walk and run lane or path. There's no cars. So I get nervous around cars.
Yeah, understandable. Ugh. All right, so you do a little bit of cycling, swimming. What we just did, for people who don't know, we did like every minute on the minute. So I picked 4 movements. We did 20 seconds on the assault bike at 95% effort. Did 12 ball over shoulder for 60 pounds. We did some goblet squats with 20 and 24 kilos. And then we did 15 Arnold presses with 20-pound dumbbells, and just did 7 rounds of that. And I mean, by the last couple of rounds, it was like 10 seconds remaining. It's like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. You're like, whoa.
But so for me, I love that type of workout. But dude, again, like it's been a long time since I've really embraced that. Yeah. Like I would go on the Peloton because it was kind of easy.
Oh God.
I know, buddy, but I still use it. I'll get on the Peloton and do like a 20-minute kind of hard bike, and then I'll do 20-minute weights. And it's like a great 40-minute workout. Because I want to, my intention now is to sweat every day. And there was a time I used to do that, but it was with a lot of rigidity, and it was really intense, and it was all consuming. That doesn't work for me. It certainly doesn't work for my family. Right. So if I can get out there and
you're older. I mean, you don't want to get, I mean, the reality is if you're not, I mean, I know for me, I mean, it doesn't take much for just something, a neck, a low back.
Well, not only that, you're like adrenals and your hormones. And so,
I haven't thought about that. I'm more worried about getting hurt.
Yeah, no, I mean, not as they say in South Africa, touch wood. Cork, but I guess cork is a tree. So that's technically touch wood. Yeah. I'm not worried about injury so much, but I am worried about going too hard and knocking the hormones down. Now, I do hormone replacement therapy, so like I'm not that concerned with it, but it's felt good to get out there and put in like an honest effort every day. And so yesterday you gave me some of your Go Ruck gear, and I did that fucking 3-mile loop, and I don't know, it's a 40-minute little walk with a little bit of elevation, and it was shitty. It's hard. Breathing wasn't great. That I could see where the backpack would have been worse on my shoulders, but I felt the pressure on my shoulders. Like maybe that's building the traps up a little bit.
Apparently, as they say, there's some adaptation there.
Yeah.
You have to be consistent with it. I haven't gotten to that point where it's like, oh yeah, but man, what'd you do, 30 or 40 pounds?
I did 30.
Yeah.
The backpack was 40, but it was all in the back, and I don't want to do that. So
first time I did it was Atia does it all the time. And of course I do a bunch of stuff with him, but he's like, why don't you, this is so crazy. We just moved back to Austin. And he was like, come over for a ruck. I was like, all right. And I was fit. Like I spent the summer getting super fit. I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it. And it's 104 degrees outside in the middle of the day, 50-pound backpacks, not the vest, backpacks.
So that backpack that you gave me plus 10 pounds. Holy shit.
Plus 20. You had 30.
No. I thought you said the backpack was 40. I had the vest on that was 30.
Right. But when I did it for the first time with him, he gave me a backpack with 50 pounds in it. And I was like, thank God Liz was out shooting it. I started pulling these, there are different weights inside. Liz, come over here. You could get your pictures, but I'm taking some of this shit out. Like it was brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. 104 degrees. We went for an hour.
Oh shit. Yeah. I had great weather yesterday. I went for 40 minutes and 30 pounds. But yeah, like it's like, and then sprinkle in a little bit of yoga. And for me, that feels like a nice, like array of, kind of variants. Now you also, I'd love for you to talk about the whole acid bath.
Yeah.
And how you taught those boys.
That's a new thing. So that's, I built this gym at the house, which you haven't seen yet, but it's, I haven't gotten invited yet. We got great, right. We got all the, Rogue did an amazing job building it out for me. And then the team at Concept 2 sent me all the stuff. So I've got the ski erg, the row erg, and the bike erg. The acid bath, which, I just kind of got in this gear. So,
it doesn't. Technically, it's not an acid bath for you because you buffer all your lactic acid.
This one you're full of lactic acid. So, Greg from Concept 2 says you should try the acid bath. I'm like, I don't know. That sounds kind of cool. Like, what is it? Like, by the way, I will fucking try.
I prefer a different type of acid bath.
I will try anything. And so
so will I.
So he says 500 meters on the ski erg, 500 meters on the row erg, 1,000 meters on the bike erg, as fast as you can go. So when you go from one machine to the other, if you want to have a good time, you have to get to the next machine as fast as possible. A lot of people think, you break it up. You don't break it up. It's one test. And so first time I did it, it's just terrible. Like it's so funny too. The first time I did it, because the bike is last. And I'm like, please just get me to the bike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's my place.
Yeah.
I got on the bike. I was like pedaling squares. I'm like, get me off this fucking bike. Like I was mortified. And so then, we did one the other day over at On It with these young punks who were super sweet, but it's fun. When you get a little older, it's fun.
Yeah, that's the way there's a little fucking... YouTuber came. Yeah.
YouTuber? Yeah. You mind if I mic you up? I said, buddy, this is a fucking workout. We're not making YouTube videos. You can do whatever you want to do. I'm here to work out. Yeah. So no, like keep your camera guy away. That's fine, but I'm not getting mic'd up.
Yeah.
I'm not YouTubing or whatever the fuck you call it. True story. Yeah. And he was like, no. And I was like, definitely not. But he's like 29 and there's some guys in their early 30s and then I'm 52. And so they didn't want to tell me.
You're like, I'm good. I got enough exposure.
But then they said, we're going to do an acid bath at the end. I was like, oh boy. And so they wanted to go in order of age. So the young YouTuber went first.
Yeah.
He dropped a 520. And then this badass kid who does a bunch of the High Rocks races, which I think is a really cool new series.
Oh, were you telling me about that?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I personally am interested in that because
explain that real briefly.
I've never done one. I've only I follow them on Instagram. I've looked at some of the videos. It's 8 1-kilometer runs.
Okay.
Which is a lot. Like, Spartan, you don't run that much, and Tough Mudder, you don't run that much, and CrossFit, you don't run that much. But, for a race or a competition, 8 kilometers, 5 miles.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a lot of running. You can't be a shitty runner and be good. And then in between every kilometer, it's interspersed with, and I don't know exactly, but it's probably a kilometer on the ski erg. There's the road, there's the sled push, there's the sled pull.
Like a kilometer of that?
No, well, I don't know.
Okay, gotcha.
But it just gets broken up.
Yep.
And so anyways, this kid is a highly competitive High Rocks guy. And I'm like, okay, well, that's gonna be hard to beat.
Yeah.
And then Juan, who's been, I think he's the best trainer at On it. I love Juan, who's crazy fit. And he's done a bunch of acid baths. I think he's gone 5:03. I did 5:16 the first time I did it. Fuck. And so YouTuber goes, he busts a 5:20. And then the High Rocks kid goes and gets a 5:10. I'm like, oof. Juan goes and gets 5:08.8. And they're all like, all right, your turn. And I'm like, you motherfuckers.
So at this point, do you have a goal, what you want to hit the erg, get off the erg at this number, row this, and then just go?
I'd only done one before, so I know it's 5 minutes. So if you bury yourself in the first 30, 45 seconds, you're done.
That's right.
So I had done the only one I had done. I went too hard on the skier, so I was like, all right, I'll just start. And you can see the pace, right? The machines are all set up, but you see what your pace is per 500.
Yep.
And so I was skiing at 135. I'm very well suited for the row erg, or whatever. I think there's
are really?
Yeah, there's a lot of crossover with cycling and rowing.
Okay.
Low, legs, low back. A lot of people think you're just like sitting there rowing.
Well, I thought like having longer levers too, like being a taller guy. If you were 6'5",
but I have we can get into why you wanted to talk about lactic acid and cycling. We can also talk about, not to totally nerd out, and we'll get back to the acid bath, but relative to my height, right? So my femur length, I have long legs and a short torso. My femur length is way longer than I should be for a person who's 5'10". So that's the lever. It doesn't matter how tall you are. This is the lever.
Oh, got it.
Right.
So you have the lever of a 6'2" guy or some shit like that. Another little
secret hidden strength. And so then I'm like, man, these are some sick times. Like I haven't gone this fast. And also those machines get used more on it, right? The ones in my house are new. They're smooth. Like you rip these things, you're like, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of snap.
Oh, these guys are going to, anyways, long story short, I go 5:08.2. So I went by.
You beat him by 0.6, you son of a bitch. No way. How fucking pumped are you?
I was so pumped. And then I was like, dude, that was crazy, dude. So I started like 135, 140 on the ski. I was 135, 140 on the row. And then I was watching these guys as they go. So on the bike, I could see their time and I just destroyed them on the bike. Yeah. But Juan was like, dude, the whole fucking gym stopped when you went. Like I wasn't paying attention. I was just like,
you can't, right?
I was like,
singular focus.
Fucking kill these kids. Like that's all I thought about.
God.
But he was like, dude, the whole gym stopped. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a special gear that you have that a handful of people do, right? Like to get to the level that you got to, I can't get that. I don't want to again, put limitations on myself, but I haven't had enough reps at that. I got to kill you. It's just not there. So it's interesting that it has to feel good to be able to exercise it somewhere where you have some competency. Because in golf, you can want to fucking kill,
but
it doesn't translate. Because you don't have it's not within your control where there's a place.
That's maybe Scotty Scheffler could do that, or I don't know, but
Tiger, right? Back in the day.
He could create whatever he wanted. That's not, we were never going to feel that.
No, but it's got to feel good to be able to touch that going into that workout that day. You had no idea that you were going to summon that part of you.
But I just have that in me, and it's most of the time is a good thing. Not always a good thing. Right? There's times where you can be uber competitive that you just shouldn't be. Right? It's time to lay down and let things play out. One funny story was this is going back many years ago, but I love the game of kickball, you like kickball?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played it in quite a while, but
it's one of the greatest games.
Yeah,
ever.
that's great.
Like no, for real. Like for my 50th.
I'm not bullshitting. Like, who doesn't like kickball?
Okay, well, I love it, and so and I think it's.
Did you not get picked for kick? You did not get picked for kickball when you were a kid.
That doesn't matter. But
I'm just saying you didn't, right?
This story has a.
You're like kind of like those tech nerds who never got the girls, and then they have this unicorn, and now they're getting all the girls. So back then, anyway.
And it's best when you just have a large group of friends. We went to Cabo for my 50th.
Oh fuck!
16 of us, so you could have a serious kickball game. And we did it at the field there in El Dorado.
So good.
That's like real kickball.
Yeah.
Anyways, we were playing in the backyard when Anna was pregnant with Max. And we didn't have a kickball, so we were playing with like a small Swiss ball, like from the gym.
Yeah.
And it was, but it's easy to kick and easy to catch. And
pretty rubbery and
and she's pregnant. She's probably 7 months pregnant. So she's pregnant. And she's on the other team. And she gets on base and do another pitch or whatever you want to call it. And I see she goes to steal second. And I have the ball.
You're like, not on my watch, bitch.
And something took over.
Yeah.
And in kickball, all you got to do is peg them.
Yeah.
They're out. And I had, something came over me. This is a true story. Like she still holds it over.
Oh, I believe it 1,000%.
And I was like, they're stealing second. I grabbed that fucking ball and I threw it as hard as I could. Just totally tweaked out and hit her right in the stomach. And all my older kids were there and there were other people in there. They were like, whoa. And she was like, what the fuck are you doing? She legit said like, what did you just do? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. You were stealing. I couldn't help myself. This is a true story.
You're just so red.
All I saw was somebody stealing second.
Maybe some fatty was trying to steal second. I'm not letting that happen.
I got her out, but
of course you did.
Good news. Well, that's the good news. I got her out.
How's Max doing today?
Max is a perfectly healthy, wonderful kid.
Oh, dude,
she can tell you the story. It was not a good look.
Mine was a little more incidental, but a little bit of like lack of awareness. We were in Italy. Jake was, 2.5 years old. Peyton was pregnant with Bowen. I don't know. She was probably pretty early, maybe 3 months pregnant. We were playing soccer. We had this kind of villa that we rented. We were playing soccer and I just went to boot it into the goal and she was there and I hit her right in the gut.
Yeah.
And it was like, I felt so terrible.
That's worse. Soccer ball's a lot harder. You're actually kicking it, not.
Yeah, but I wasn't trying to kick her with it. I was trying to score a goal and I just misfired.
No, I tried intentionally
hit your pregnant wife.
Not my finest.
I felt terrible.
Everybody lived. Yeah. Everybody's healthy.
It toughened him up a little bit. Well, to talk a little bit about the whole lactic acid thing too, because that is something that I remember from my CrossFit days. That was like there are ways to improve your buffering.
Well, you can train lactic acid, right?
Yes. So and that used to be the fucking worst workouts, but I loved that stuff.
It depends how you go about it. We had a different approach. And, of course, most people know my story and not everybody, but we had, as complicated as the story was, and there was certainly medicine involved, that was not, that was the way the game was played. But the guy who oversaw all of my training was Dr. Michele Ferrari, who was hugely controversial, very, very polarizing, but also brilliant.